Welcome to my forest. It's Halloween, so costumes all around. And me, I'm a bitch that loves me some costumes. And I have this really crappy wig that I got, and I couldn't think of anything else to do with it. So, fox bitch. Fox bitch. We're not going to do what the fox says because that in the song is annoying, though hilarious. Still annoying. But today, I'd like to talk about shitty drivers. I'm clearly a very critical person. I clearly have issues with most of the ways people think or do things. It kind of drives me nuts. So take that with a grain of salt, all my bitching. It is opinions, understand. If you're someone who does this though, I probably hate you while I'm on the road. Just saying. So if you have car body damage, if you have body damage on your car anywhere, it generally gives me a clue into what kind of shitty driver you are. You have a crumpled part on either side of your front end of your car, you pull out too far into traffic when you don't have the right of way. In the back of your car, you stop too quickly, or you go too fast and then have to stop quickly. So another thing that I always love about drivers, I like it when you do actually go the speed limit, especially around here. It's generally thought of as the speed limit's a suggestion, though it's not, because you will get caught by speed traps around here all the time. I live in Virginia, so most of you already know that. But this area the roads aren't very big. There's a lot of farmland around here. And even when you're going through the suburbs, the roads can be pretty small in certain underdeveloped areas. So you can get caught by the cops just about anywhere. But generally speaking, especially on the highways and stuff, everyone's going 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit. And the cops will choose who they want to pick to pull over. And it's generally not a good choice. But most people, in certain areas, it is very prudent to follow the speed limit, or at least only go 5 miles over. 10 is tops, but if you see a cop, you better slow your ass down to that 5. They won't you for 5 most of the time, but they'll definitely you for 10 or over. You don't want to do that. So in certain areas where I happen to know where there's a lot of speed traps, and I've seen cops in unmarked cars pulling people over, I generally follow the speed limit. And I have gotten at least 2 people following me all the way home because they got mad because they got stuck behind me in traffic. There was nowhere for them to go. But because I followed the speed limit and I didn't speed up, even though there was I could have given, there was 2 car lengths ahead of me, but we're all going 45. So you're supposed to give some grace. And because I didn't speed up so that they could squeeze through and try and ping pong through traffic, they followed my ass home. I know for a fact they don't live in my neighborhood. And I was like, I don't recognize these chuckleheads. And I had to have my husband come out to the front to meet me to scare them off. And that's fun. It's nice because I didn't cut them off. I didn't do anything else. But road rage is real fun around here. I've seen people get out of their cars to accost someone else for not taking the turn on time, for not taking the yellow turn light. And just getting really, really pissed off. So it's really fun. I love seeing road rage. I love it when me talking on the phone to someone in the car, my hands-free device, because I just pipe it through my car, because I'm not an asshole. That's another fun one. Hands-free devices. Those are great. Love those. Except no one around here seems to use them. I have literally watched people. I've been someone who's driving really slow or really erratic. They'll go really fast and they slow down and they kind of be swerving in the lane. I'm like, what the hell? And I get up beside them as I take a turn and I look over and there they are on their phone. Sometimes FaceTiming. Why are you FaceTiming while you're driving a car? Why are you playing on your phone while you're driving a car? At the stoplight, fine. Just prepare to be honked at when the light turns green. It's happened to me before, so I'm guilty of that. It's fine. But at least you're stopped, And it's not a big deal if someone tells you to go, just go. Not a big deal. You don't get pissed off about it. Though I have gotten the finger a few times for letting people know that they're sitting through like a 30-second light. Actually, they're not even 30 seconds. They're usually like 10 to 15 seconds for turn signals around here. So it's like, hey, we don't have a lot of time to get through this fucking light, and the cycle is a lot longer than 30 seconds. So can we wrap this up? Wake up. Hey, wake up, you're asleep at the wheel. You know, people get really mad about that. But God damn it, I need to stop saying but. I really like the people who have to be in front and they speed up to get in front of you, and then they slow down to below the speed limit. If you go around them to get in front, they will proceed to get in front of you again. Why? Because they just want to be the front. They want to be in front. I actually have a friend who does this, and if you're watching, you know who you are. Why do you do this? It is annoying because if you're not the fastest person in traffic, then you should not be in front. I know you want to be in front, but you should get over into the right lane. Oh, that brings up another wonderful thing. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world. I only live here, so I can only pull upon my own experiences. And the thing is I've taken driver's ed, and because I have lived in a state that requires you to retake it to get your license, even after I'd already gotten it, I had to take it twice, right? And not the driving test. I only took the driving test once, but you have to take the written test again, you know, just to prove that you still know the rules of the road, right? Certain places do this, certain places don't. It depends on what state you live in. So I had to take it twice. So I'm actually pretty, versed in what the rules of the road are. And one of the rules is the right lane is for driving and cruising and slower traffic, and the left lane is for passing and faster traffic. Why then is it in 2-lane roads, like that are just long stretches connecting different towns? Because like I said, things around here are a lot more spread out than they are in some other places like New York or California, like especially in LA. And these are places I'm more familiar with. In DC, not so much. Everything's on top of each other. But in Virginia, we got a lot of farmland around here, okay? Suburbs, farmlands, and smaller little city areas, right? So you got the 2 lanes, and there's people in the right-hand lane going slow, right? You're supposed to be there, fine. And then one of those slow assholes doesn't want to be behind one of the other slow assholes. He just wants to go a little bit faster. But instead of just passing the guy on the right, he stays in the left. Don't you see the people behind you coming up on you fast because they want to go faster? They want to go, and you are impeding them from going. And you get mad and you start tapping on your brakes and you go slower. And it's like, but the thing is, and you could be like mad that they're tailgating you. I don't think tailgating is a good idea. I don't like it when people are up on your ass. It's annoying. I'm like, that's how accidents happen. But it's like they're trying to give you the hint to get the fuck over. This is on the highway, anywhere you are. If there are 2 lanes, the right lane is for slow traffic and cruisers. And the left lane is for fast traffic and passing. This is pretty well known. But no one seems to like to follow this rule around here, and it drives me absolutely batty. And it's just like, yeah, if someone's behind me and going like tailgating, I might slow down. I've been petty like that. These days I try not to do that because, like I said, road rage and people being scary, overtly aggressive motherfuckers on the road. I don't need that shit in my life. But it absolutely just kicks me in the crotch every time I see someone doing this. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Get the fuck over. There's nobody. And usually this only really affects when there's someone in the other lane. And then it's just a clog all the way down this long stretch of road. But the worst is when it's like, I have to pass you on the right, which you're not supposed to do. Right? Passing on the right is a no-no. Right? But sometimes you have to do it in order to get past this asshole who decided they want to go 10 miles below the speed limit on a long stretch of road, and they're just like, oh, I want to be on the left. I want to be on the left. It's like, you're not turning left because there are no left turns right here. You know, especially on the highway. It's like there's very few left turns, at least in Virginia. On the, they come up every once in a while, but they're very rare. Usually it's always on the right. Unless you're in a weird area. There are a few of them around here. But for the most part, or if you're in the city, I get that. But in the city, the traffic's going to be much, much slower. Even on the highway, you're going to have areas where it slows down much more because there's a lot more traffic and you're not going to be able to speed the way you are in the more rural areas, of the suburban areas on the highway. It's just not going to happen. It's just like you don't need to be in the left lane. And you can get over into the left lane once you need to be there. But whatever. Another gem, especially around here. This is an area that develops a lot. There's, like I said, there's a lot of farmland, a lot of suburban, but it's constantly, the urban sprawl is constantly happening around here. So there's always developments. There's always road work. There's always something to where there'll be big trucks on the road. Not just semis and stuff, but dump trucks and you know, shipment trucks and stuff like that. And these guys, I'm beginning to think I could get a Class C license because some of these people don't seem to know how to drive. I'm sorry if you are one. If you are one and you do your best not to be an asshole on the road, then I applaud you. I am always trying to be very nice to truck drivers. I try not to cut them off. I try to give them plenty of clearance because they can't stop as fast as a small car can, especially if they're carrying a heavy load. So when I see one of these motherfuckers going 80 miles an hour down, you know, public streets, not just on the highway, like it's even dangerous on the highway. They're supposed to be over in the slow lanes. They're not supposed to be going in the fast lane and driving 80 miles. Like there's no good reason why you should be going that fast in that big of a truck. Your truck, one, takes forever to get up to that speed, and to stop, it takes a hell of a lot longer. So you shouldn't be driving this fast. You should not be changing lanes super fast. You should be giving plenty of clearance. Granted, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get where you got to go, you know? And with people around here, they all like to drive like speed demons, and like either it's like there's a lot of speed demons and then there's like a few grandpas and grandmas who like to drive ridiculously slow. And it's like if you can't, yeah, and the opposite is true. If you can't get over 45 miles an hour, please do not go on the highway. Please don't go on the highway. You should not be going 45 on the highway. Technically, you're going too low under the speed limit to be safe, you know? And the thing is like the speed limit might be 55 to 65. And it's just like 10 to 15 miles under the speed limit can be dangerous on a highway. People can't, you know, it's like people are going to be ripping around you, which can cause accidents. And you're going way too slow. Like you're just making it very hard for anybody else to deal with you or be around you. It's annoying. Please stop. Please, please. You can take overland if you're going to drive that slow. You'd be like, well, I need to get there faster and the highway's most direct route. No, it is not. No, it is not. The only reason the highway is faster is if you go fast. If you're going slow, the same speed limit you'd be going on the regular roads, if you're going 35 or 40, then you might as well just take the main roads. You might as well. You're going to get there probably in the same amount of time you would, actually probably less time than you would on the highway, just because the highway goes around. It cuts through places. Maybe it will be the shortest path for you, but if you can't get up to speed, then please don't. You're causing a problem. You can actually be pulled over for that too. So let's be real. And for those of you who might think, oh, well, you know, at least you're in a rural area. Rural areas don't have these problems as much. Oh, no. Sir, no, I tell you no. Unfortunately, at least in this area, going on the back roads is just as dangerous as driving on the highway around here, because I've watched people in their freaking their Ford pickup trucks or their SUVs driving down the middle of, you know, it's like one lane on each side, driving down the middle of the road, coming around freaking those turns that they say are like 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, coming around in a 50. I've almost gotten hit quite a few times, sometimes with my daughter in the car. That was terrifying. You know, but there's certain areas around here, you just, unless you're going to go all the way around on the highway, you just can't get to these places without driving through some backwoods areas. And when I was driving for permits for the old company that I worked for, some of these places are in the middle of nowhere. These little counties and these little cities, they're just in the middle of nowhere, and there's no major road that gets there. There's just routes that get there. And some of these routes, unless you want to take the long roundabout way, you got to cut through. And when you're on a time crunch, you got to take those little routes, the shortcuts. Sometimes they turn out to be long cuts if you get stuck behind someone who's going really slow on them. But for the most part, you have to worry about the asshole who thinks he's the only one on the road, or she's the only one on the road. Because I've had both. And it's funny because, like, like you look and I see the people in the car, and sometimes there's someone who looks like they live out in the middle of the trailer park, and sometimes it looks like some prissy freaking, like, does her hair every freaking Thursday, driving around in a really nice, freaking, what are they called? Escalade. Driving around in an Escalade, nails done, looking posh as driving out to her $1 million mansion out in the woods. Because even though we have farmlands around here, a lot of the farmlands that no longer are being used were converted into like mini farms, little mansion estates and stuff where people have their horses and shit. Yeah, there's a lot of like super uber rich people around here that live out in the woods, and they act like they own the roads. It's absolutely awful driving around with them. I love it. I love it. I do. If you don't believe me, well, I'm sorry for you. Well, I could go on and on and on and on about how much I hate other drivers, how much I just despise the lack of etiquette and the lack of concern for other people's lives on the road, because obviously where you're going is so much more important than like taking a mother or a father or a daughter or a son away from a family. Like it's so much more important. You getting to Walmart or getting to your freaking, your Pilates class. And I mean, these days there's really no excuse because there's not a lot of things that are open that are really necessary, unless they're necessary to go to. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. You need your groceries, but do you need to kill someone to get there, or kill yourself, or your kids are in the car? Could you please not? Like, could you just please, like, just be a decent person? I could go on. Oh God, could I go on? Bad drivers exist everywhere. Unfortunately, a lot of y'all suck. I hope that whoever's watching is not one of the sucky drivers, that you actually consider other people when you go on the road, that you try, at least even for your own safety, for your loved ones, for the people who care about you, and just for the general concern for other human beings, that you drive like it matters. I try and drive like it matters. Sometimes I am bad and I do these bad things. Well, I don't do most of these bad things. I do the usual, like speeding. I try and not do that as much, especially since I got caught for speeding. Oops. But, I try not to cut people off. I try not to be an aggressive driver. I try to err on the side of caution, and also try to be a courteous driver. If I see someone who needs to get in and no one's letting them in and it's my turn to go, I will let them in. Because it's like, I won't let everybody in, but it's like, I'll try and let at least one or two, try and do my part. Because it's like people trying to turn out into traffic, no one wants to let them out. People who speed up when you're trying to get in. It's like, because it's really important that they not let you in, because it's not like you're in traffic and they're not going to get anywhere faster by letting you have that one of the car lengths in front of you. But, whatever. Fine. Be a prick. I hope the rest of you aren't. I hope that you all practice safe driving, especially since it would be really sad if your loved ones had to lose you. And it would be really awful if you ended up taking someone else's life due to your, lack of concern or your hurry to get somewhere that's not going anywhere. So, and if you're late for something, that's on you. Sorry, you should have planned ahead. I always go places early because I never want to be late. I hate being late, and I don't have great time management, so I always try to set myself a million alarms and make myself go a half an hour before I need to be to a place. give myself some push room so that I know that I'm going to be there and I can just sit in my car and wait to go to do the thing, or just show up early and impress everyone with my being on timeness. It's like my old chorus teacher, Miss Perry, used to say, to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. That's what she always used to say. I don't know why. She also said less is more. I don't know if that's true. I am definitely more, not less. But maybe I am less, and that makes me more. Who knows? But I guess it just comes down to no matter where you drive, most drivers suck. Sad to say. Is this actually going to be like a reasonably timed video for me to edit together, or is there literally not enough in here? I might have to edit together some stuff, like some pictures, other than me sitting looking foxy as on this couch in the middle of the woods. Don't at me. I'm totally in the middle of the woods. This is just how my couch is built. Ignore my fingers disappearing into nothing. That's just foxy magic. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. It's Kinsu? Yeah, I'm Kinsu, bitch. I got me some fox spirit. Now I need to do a video where I wear my fox pajamas, which are not sexy at all because they're like footy pajamas, but they got fox feet and they're adorable and I love them and they're comfy as fuck. They are so big on me because I was a big girl when they got them for me. So I have to maybe I'll edit that one in a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm hoping that the audio issues are taken care of. I played with the gain and the compression and all that fun stuff. I barely know what I'm doing, but we're working on it. We're getting it together. And we're just going to do as many videos as we can until we get it right. You're here for me, right? You're here with me. We're going to take this journey together, people. We're going to get this. We're going to make it. We're going to do it. I guess that's what the fox does say. Wow. Who knew?